You are not too broken for a comeback. And there are too many of us that believe this to be true, that we're too broken, we've made too many mistakes in our past, we've slept with too many people, we did that thing that we shouldn't have done, we cheated on that person, or this thing has happened to me, or I let this person down. There's so many things that we're like, I've made so many mistakes in my past life that I believe that I don't deserve to have anything good going forward. And I am here to tell you, my friend, that that is not true. Welcome back to Growing Isn't Pretty. I'm Nilita. And I just want to really dive into the fact that there are so many of us in this world, and I know for a fact, I'm talking from personal experience, there are so many of us, friends, family members, myself included, that believe that because we have made mistakes in our past life, or because that we have, when I say past life, by the way, I'm talking about like when we were 15, 16, 19, 20, 21, 22. There are so many of us that believe that because we have done something bad in the past, that means that our story has been written for a complete downfall. Like, we are failures, there is nothing that can be done for us, we're a lost cause, the end, and I feel like we need this gentle reminder. Maybe this won't be so gentle because sometimes I can be quite blunt, but we need a reminder that we are not failures. Things happen. I closed my first business down, and the emotions that I went through with that was like, okay, so you're a failure. It was a mistake. Like, starting it was a mistake, and I don't believe that to be true. Starting it was not a mistake, but obviously when you're on an emotional roller coaster, especially when you're starting your period, ladies, when you're on that emotional roller coaster, you can spiral quite a little bit, just a little bit. And I was telling myself all sorts of things, and one of them was that you are a failure. Like, this is it for you. Where you're at is what you've got is what you're going to have for the rest of your life. You're going to be in this continuous loop of starting something and not finishing it, starting something and not finishing it, starting not finishing. And I've had that loop going on since I was a child. I started drama school, dropped out of drama school, started ballet, dropped out of ballet. So all of these little things that, like gymnastics, dropped out of gymnastics. There's like a list, right, that are, I guess you could say, against me. But if I believe that narrative to be my forever story, if I believe that to be my truth going forward, nothing in my life will ever change, because then I'm kind of, it's almost like, what do they call it? A negative bias. Like, you're looking for something that will validate the idea that you've already given yourself. So if you're telling yourself, I'm not worthy of love, every opportunity someone might tell to you, oh no, I'm not really, looking to go into a relationship right now. In your head, you're like, they don't want me. They don't want to be in a relationship with me. They hate me. It's because I'm ugly. It's because I'm this. See, I told myself that I was unattractive, and now this person's rejected me. When really that person finds you very attractive, they just don't want to be in a relationship right now because they just got out of one. But because your brain is looking for the things that will validate the negative conversation that you've got going on, the negative story that you've written for yourself, then that is exactly what you're going to be looking for in your reality, right? So, and this is also why they say in law of attraction, when you focus on positive things, you attract those experiences, opportunities into your life, and that's exactly what you're looking for. You're looking for more things that are in your favor, as opposed to more things that are in the favor of the negative conversation that you're having in your mind. So that is one of the things that I know for a fact for me was something that I'm still to this day, but it's so much easier now. I've been having to battle with this internal conversation of like, you did this thing when you were 16, 15, 14, fucking 10, right? Why are you so hung up on it at 30? Why are you so hung up on it at 45? Why are you so hung up on it at 50? Like, there are experiences that happen in this world, that happen in this life, that we need to learn and appreciate. They are given to us by God to, I feel like this is all coming to me. Holy Spirit, come on down. God gives us these things because he wants us to learn something, a couple of things. And I want to talk about a few of the things that I'm learning as I'm reading the Bible, as I guess you could just say, experiencing life, wishing for something bigger and better for myself, going after things that are bigger and better and more aligned, and finding myself as well. So let's just dive into a few of those things. Lego. Your mistakes don't define you, they refine you. Okay, so I used to have this thing in my mind that, you know, once I've made one mistake, that is who I am forever. Going forward, that is it. Nothing can change that. What I didn't realize was that God was refining the woman that I've always wanted to be by putting me through these tasks and these experiences that would allow me to come out on the other side and say, oh, that's why I went through that. That's why this person left my life. This is why this terrible experience happened to me. This is why this person had to pass away. And it's refining your character. It's extracting what you don't want and placing in what you do. And it is completely refining down, right? Almost like sanding away the things that no longer serve you and what you don't want and what you don't need. And it's leaving you with this smooth, sexy surface of the woman that you want to be. So once you start looking at things as if like, yes, this experience might suck. Yes, the things that I've done in my past might be shitty and it might have been so far out of character. But now I know I don't want to be that person anymore. I don't want to do that thing. I don't want to have that experience. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't like it. It made me feel like I was stepped out of my character, out of the woman that I want to be or the man that I want to be. You get to now take away the parts of your life that you don't want to have, right? And yes, there are always going to be things that will happen, but everything is choice. You get to choose how you deal with the things that you've been given, right? So there might be external circumstances, accidents, situations that happen, you know, abuse, whatever it is that might happen to you, but you are responsible for how you deal with that experience going forward, right? How you deal with yourself. You can't navigate an external circumstance, but you certainly can. You are the captain of your own ship. So that is one thing that is kind of giving me power. It's giving me a sense of almost peace, knowing that things are going to happen, like shit is going to happen, right? But it doesn't define who I am. It's refining me bit by bit. It's chipping away at the things that I don't want. It's removing the characteristics that I do not like, the setting boundaries that I want in place, and it's allowing me to refine the woman that I want to be. It's fine tune her, get her to the perfect key and perfect pitch, so that when I am navigating and showing up in the world, it's because I've in the dark been working on who I don't want to be so much that I am now who I want to be. I want to remind you that God specializes in redemption, right? Like nothing is beyond repair. There is literally nothing that you could do that God is not going to be like, I can fix that for you. There's a beautiful song called Broken People by I want to say New Breeds. Yeah, Israel Houghton, New Breeds. As I love the way you embrace broken people like me. He doesn't want you to come to him whole. He's not asking you to come to him as a complete perfect being, because you can't. No one is perfect but God. So for us to try and become a perfect being and then show up, he's like, no, show up and I'll make you good. I'll make you refined. I'll make you the being that I've wanted you to become. So don't try and, this is what I tried to do for so many years. I tried to perfect things, right? We all know perfectionism is a real it's a real thing. I tried to show up perfect in everything, to the point where I wouldn't show up at all because it wasn't perfect. How the fuck do you live life like that? Excuse my French, I'm trying not to swear. That's another thing, I'm trying really hard. It's like ingrained, but I'm trying not to swear, so I'm not someone who swears. I'm trying not to swear. How on earth don't you feel like it's so contradictory, right? You're like, I want this thing, this project. For me, it was business. I want this business to be perfect. I want this Instagram post to be perfect. 2 weeks will go by and I'm like, it's still not perfect. But babe, if you had just started, the 50 posts that you could have done in between that would have got you to your idea of perfect, right? Because you would refine, you'd put out so much content, you'd get feedback, you'd find the visual that works for you through practice, through consistency, and then you would refine, again going back to that word refining, you would refine the perfect post, the perfect business plan, the perfect deck, the perfect whatever it is that you're trying to build, right? So, and again, I use perfect quite loosely because nothing is perfect, but it's perfect for you. And that only comes when you put the thing out there, when you show up, when you become that person, then you will start to experience this definition of perfect in your mind. So when I'm talking about God specializes in redemption, like he can fix everything. You just have to show up, right? You don't need to be, and this is going out to someone anyway. If you're listening to this, by the way, and you're saying to yourself, I've been wanting to go to church, I've been wanting to speak to that person, I've been wanting to apply for that job, I've been wanting to have that child, I've been wanting to do that thing, travel the country, go to that place, I've been wanting to do this thing, but I have been waiting for the perfect moment. There is no perfect moment, right? People say this when it comes to children all the time. There is no perfect time to have a child. There is no perfect time to start the job. There is no perfect time to quit your job. There is no perfect time to move country. There's no perfect time to start a new hobby or experience, whatever it is. There's no perfect time. The time is now. The time is when you feel like, I am 45% ready. The rest of it will come. Okay, I'm not talking about get yourself in debt or, lose your home and end up homeless. So I'm not talking about, like, obviously do a risk assessment. Don't be stupid with these things. But at the same time, if you don't take any sort of risk, you will never get the reward. I'm looking at my vision board right now, and my brother, my sister-in-law and I, we have started this like success group, and we meet once a week. And one of my tasks for this week was to, I think by the time this video goes up, it'll be last week, but by the time one of my tasks was to go out, and I'm starting a new business, go out and start speaking to business owners around in the area. And I bottled it. Like, when I tell you guys I bottled it, I was so scared. I got dressed up, I went into a store, and I stood there and I looked at the person, and they were like, hi, can I help? And I was like, can I just get a hot chocolate, please? And they were like, sure. Then rang that through for me, and then I walked out and my heart was racing and I was so scared. And the thing is, I've spoken to business owners before. Like, my last business, I had to do that all the time. I had to connect with people, had to interact with people, reach out. When I was doing so much outreach when it came to like getting guests on my podcast, or co-hosting events, or even getting people to come to the events, I had to reach out to people. I cold DM'd people, sent emails, cold calls, like all of those things. But for some reason there was this like fear, right? There was this fear that came, and as I'm speaking this now, because obviously when I say these videos I usually just rant, but as I'm saying it, I believe this fear came from the idea that because in the past, my last business, I closed it, I'm subconsciously scared that this one will be a failure. And again, it goes back to this idea that because something has happened in the past, it means that your story is written forever, right? Because I closed one business down, that means that every business is going to be a failure. First of all, that business was not a failure. And second of all, just because I closed it does not mean that another one won't open, doesn't mean that another one won't work and be a massive success. So you have to get out of, and I'm saying this to myself as well, we have to get out of this mindset that because something bad has happened once, that does not mean that something bad is going to happen again and again and again and again. It is not a promised continuous line of failures, right? So it's not a knock-on effect of just bad and bad and bad. At some point you get to intervene and make it good. Okay, I really love this point. Stop counting yourself out. Your best chapter has not been written yet. There's an episode in The Simpsons. It's so random. There is an episode in The Simpsons where Homer is going, Bart's like, this is the worst day ever. I think it's a movie, actually, Simpson movie. Bart's like, this is the worst day ever. And then Homer comes out of nowhere and his head like pops and he goes, so far. And then Bart keeps saying like, oh God, I hate this world. Like, this is the worst day ever. And then Homer comes out of nowhere and he's like, so far. Can we just get a so far in our mind, but in a positive way? Like, you can say like, okay, shit's gone bad, but I can't wait for things to get better. Like, today is going to be just a great day. It can't get any better than this. And then like hear a Homer Simpson in your head and you're going, so far. Like, it's about to get better. Things are about to become so much 10x better for you in this world. Believe and trust and appreciate and anticipate. That's the word I'm looking for. Anticipate that God is about to do some things in your life. I feel this for someone. God is about to do some stuff in your life, in my life, in my family's lives, and all of our families' lives, in the world, that is about to shake the earth. We are all about to be so confused, like, where has this come from? But you will know. You and I will know, boo boo, okay? So let's not confuse the fact that, yes, you've had experiences. Yes, some things have happened in your past that were not in your favor, or that you didn't want to happen, or that were not fun to experience, or that you regret, or that you're guilty for, or that you've got that may have kicked off depression in your life, or kicked off anxiety, or kicked off a long list of mental health issues for you, or it may have riddled you with this sadness that you can't seem to shake, or whatever you're experiencing. Just know, trust and believe that there are so many good things that are about to happen for you. There are so many amazing things that are going to happen in this world, and if we just accept that, if we just embrace it and anticipate the good, God will be like, okay, I see this person trying. I see her showing up. I see her being her authentic self. I see her refining who she is every single day. Let me now intervene and give her a hand. And I'll read this real quick. Jeremiah 18:4, like clay in the potter's hand, he can reshape you. He can reshape you. Meaning you're not set in stone, right? Like you're not a ceramic bowl that is like, it's either going to shatter and we have to throw it in the bin and get a new one, or like that's not your experience. You're still moldable clay. He can still reshape you, right? So don't get caught up in the past experiences. Like things happen, yes, and you didn't want it to happen. Yes, we appreciate that, we recognize that, we understand that, and we empathize with that. With that being said, don't let your past experiences be your future ones. Don't repeat the history. You get to choose now going forward how you want to live your life. And I don't want that to scare you, by the way, because it definitely scared the shit out of me when I first figured this out. I don't want it to scare you. I want it to empower you. You are in charge. You are the captain. You are the driver, right? There's no car on autopilot. You are the person holding the steering wheel and figuring out where you get to go. Pick your destination, an ideal one, the dream one that you've always wanted, and go head first towards that. Dive in, everything you've got. Give it everything you've got. I believe in you so much, and I love you, and I'll see you in the next video. Besitos.